What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Stock Hustle channel with your boy William. Today is a bloody Monday, October the 4th. As always, guys, please remember these videos are not financial advice. It is financial education, trying to teach people how not to get hustled in the stock market and instead trying to teach them how they can hustle the market, being more aware of just other variables around other than just what the media wants you to focus on, as always, right? But as you guys did see today in the market, it was a very volatile day. We had a lot of groundbreaking stories on all ends. The icing on the cake probably being the comments from the president stating that a lot of people might see dramatic changes in their retirement accounts with the increase of rates. Let me be the first to tell you that in the stock market, statements like that from someone in power that high is going to have repercussions in the market. SPY, QQQ, every market was down essentially, some bigger than others. FANG, Facebook obviously took a big old crap with the whistleblower coming out. Microsoft was down, Apple was down, everything was down with the exception to probably Tesla, which I know was running up, which almost enticed me to play an option on Tesla, but I stayed away. I was smarter. But again, as you guys do see, there's a lot of volatility in the market. Please expect that moving forward. I don't see it getting better. I do see it actually getting worse, but that's okay because there are thousands and thousands of plays you can play in the stock market, right? You can't close your mind off and say, oh, no, I'm going to jump out of the market. It's too risky. You can't think like that, right? You got to stay vested in the market. You just got to find other opportunities. Hopefully this video will present to you a better opportunity that you guys can look at because I am very bullish on this company. Just a full disclosure. I will be opening a position in Hut 8 Mining Corp, which is the chart you're looking at here. This is a Bitcoin miner. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll better understand why I am so bullish on this play. So as you guys do see, this gray line back here is the start of 2021. If you're looking at this chart, it might seem a little familiar. I can actually show you guys why that is a little familiar. If you give me one second. I did take the liberty of taking a screenshot of my TradingView platform for Bitcoin specifically, as Hut 8 is a Bitcoin miner, so essentially it will or may have the potential to mirror what Bitcoin's chart looks like. Clearly looking at it, you see a rise through the beginning of the year, followed by a massive dip, followed by another rise, and now sparking up to the top side here recently. Going back, you see a rise, a big dip, another rise, a dip, and now this push up to the upside here recently. Very similar chart, not identical obviously. One is trading at $49,027 per Bitcoin specifically, and Hut Mining is trading at $9.61. That is a huge difference. However, the fact that the charts are so very similar is something that I preferably like. The fact that it is respecting this trend line as of July is additionally something else that I like, heading towards the top side. Again, as I mentioned, if you do notice it, this is essentially a big cup and handle. We did miss it on this side. The candles didn't quite line up, but it could have been a perfect cup and handle with this dip down on the right side for a nice bullish run. Again, they didn't match, but either way, it's a good setup for you. For those of you that are learning or new to the market, this is essentially what you would look for in a cup and handle. Essentially, on this side, you would want this resistance line to essentially meet at the top of one of these candles, formulating essentially a perfect cup and handle. But again, looking at the indicators real quick, let's take a look at those. We are entering essentially or closing out a selling period, entering a buying period on the MACD. Again, this is the one-day chart, as you do see by the D at the top. On the RSI, we're essentially trading right above neutral being 50. We are at 59, and you see the ATR giving us an 82-cent swing. Some people like to double that, so essentially it's a $1.60 swing if you're looking at it from that perspective. So essentially it is a bullish looking chart. Specifically to me, I see this as a bullish chart if you're wanting my input, right? So why am I so bullish on this company and willing to open a long position, right? Let's get into that. So first and foremost, what is Hut Mining? As I did state from the beginning, essentially, go to the summary page. We go down to the little bit piece down here. It'll give us a brief description. Hut 8 Mining Corp is a North American innovation-focused digital asset miner located in energy-rich Alberta, Canada. Hut 8 has one of the highest installed capacity rates in the industry and holds more self-mined Bitcoin than any crypto miner or publicly traded company globally. That statement is impactful. Please take note of it. It is executing on its commitment to mining and holding Bitcoin and has a diversified business revenue strategy to grow and protect shareholder value regardless of Bitcoin market change, essentially is what that last statement goes on to say. So why is this company so important, or why do I care? First and foremost, I wanted you guys to see this company is relatively new. Obviously, with institutional ownership, you see that it has $112 million already vested in institutional ownership. There are 50 holders. You see only one institution dropping out of their position, essentially for 23,000 shares. 12 million shares being bought up. No big names down here. Essentially, these are all different types of funds. Essentially, as you see, holding 12.12 million total shares. That's not necessarily something big or important. What is something important or big was these SEC filings that you do see down here. I did already take the liberty of pulling one, and there's some information I wanted to quote because it's important to why I am so bullish on this play. As of September 2021, which was of the 3 companies I'm going to quote today, the most recent one giving an update. You see 4,724 Bitcoin in reserve. Mining production highlights as of September 2021. 264 Bitcoin were mined, resulting in an average production rate of 9.11 Bitcoin per day. Keep that in mind. 100% self-mined Bitcoin for the month of September were deposited into custody consistent with Hut 8's hold strategy. Total Bitcoin balance held in reserve 4,724, again, as of September 30th, 2021. I'll skip this next piece, but essentially what it goes on to talk about what processors they're using, NVIDIA, and that they're also mining Ethereum, which is equivalent to 0.5 Bitcoin per day, or otherwise equivalent to 25,000. It's still money that's being generated in revenue, so it is something we have to keep in mind. As far as just Bitcoin is concerned, it says, as being ahead of schedule on our commitment to the market to have over 5,000 self-mined Bitcoin by end of quarter 4, which being December of this year, say Jamie Leverton, CEO of Hut 8 Mining. Now, taking back this number up here that you see 9.11 Bitcoin per day, calculated into the fact, I already did this math to make it fun, it is 59 working calendar days going Monday through Friday, excluding holidays, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, and Thanksgiving. That total at 9.11 would bring us a total generated from today to the end of the year of an additional 537.49 Bitcoin. When you add that to the position that's already held, 4,724, it gives you a grand estimated total of 5,261.49 mined Bitcoin. Now, their commitment was 5,000, as you do see here from their SEC filing, and they're putting it in a filing, which means they're held liable to that by their shareholders. That grand total at an average cost of 45,000 per Bitcoin gives you a grand total amount $236.7 million. Please keep that number in the back of your mind, and please remember, this is trading at $9.61. So let's look at some of their competitors. Who are their competitors specifically? Where Mara is one specific competitor. Now, preface, I did some digging. I went through some SEC filings trying to find a more recent number for Mara, and for the other company I'm about to quote, I could not find one. So I'm going to use the most recent one I could find of August of this year. It says here, Mara, or Marathon Digital Holdings, produced 442.2 new minted Bitcoins during July 2021, increasing their total Bitcoin holdings to approximately 6,225.6, with a fair market approximate value of $260.7 million. Remember, Hut already has 236. They have 260. However, the difference maker is this for Mara. Cash on hand was approximately 91.9 million total liquidity. Cash on hand is always, cash is king, as they say, right? Having liquid cash on hand is always going to put you at the top spot, bringing their total amount or value $352.6 million. So this is Mara. Let's take a look at another competitor, Riot. Again, I went through some SEC filings trying to find a more updated number. The best I could come up with is June. So we're going to consider this number. In June 2021, Riot produced 243 BTC as increase of approximately 406% over June 2020, right? So a year ago, where they produced only 48 Bitcoin. Year to date, through June 2021, the company produced a total of 1,167 Bitcoin, an increase of approximately 130% over its prevailing BTC production during the same period in 2020 of 508. As of June 30th, 2021, Riot held approximately 2,243 Bitcoin. Now, let's do some math to make it even more fun. At these totals that these two companies just gave us, Mara essentially is holding $280.1 million, as they stated, plus $91 million in cash, brings their total essentially to 325, I believe, 352.6. Riot, on the other hand, holding 2,243 Bitcoin, has a total of $100.9 million. All of them equated at a 45,000 cost per Bitcoin. I wanted to keep it fair, right? Even though they didn't have the most updated numbers, I wanted to keep it fair. Now, the location, the variables, the production, obviously those are all different for each company. However, I wanted you to see the asset total, what the money, how much money each one of these is holding. As you can clearly see, Riot and Hut are almost neck and neck, and so is Mara. Mara, the difference maker, is the liquidity, cash on hand. However, this is another difference maker you do need to take into account. I went in looking specifically not only at the share price, obviously, which is going to be a bigger difference. One at 9, this one at 33, and Riot at 25. I wanted to see who owns what. In Mara specifically, you see 3 giants: Vanguard, BlackRock, and Rentec, right? 3 of the biggest funds out there. No Citadel, luckily, but as you see, they do hold large stakes with millions and millions of shares. And in Riot, if you go looking, you find the exact same thing. Vanguard, BlackRock, Rentec. 3 giants, all in both of these plays. So, by this, essentially, you can conclude if they're holding this much money, which is almost the same equivalent to Hut 8 Mining, Hut 8 Mining already taking the fact that they are stating they are going to be one of the #1 producers is something you do need to take into account, right? Number 2, the fact that they've already produced or are going to produce essentially 5,000 self-mined Bitcoin by the end of this year is another thing you need to take into account with a share price of only $9. Aside from that, the fact that they're producing Ethereum is another big bonus just on top of everything else. This is what actually made me very bullish on Hut 8. Now, as I mentioned from the start of the video, I will be opening a long position, but for those of you that are interested, I did also go ahead and take a look at the flow. As you guys do see here, filters specifically, I have no filters turned on, nothing. It is just straight flow, specifically for Hut. As you guys do see, it is more bullish with $4.6 million on the call side versus $616,000 on the put side. When you break it down into the charts, you do see that the bulls, or the bullish sentiment, is there for the October 15th, for the November 19th, and for the January 2022. It is above the puts. When comparing the specific strike, the $10 is the favored one, the 9, and essentially the 11. So when I went looking at the options, again, for those of you that do like to trade options just like I do, I love short-term options. People say they're super high risk, but I keep producing winnings on them, and it makes me happy, especially when my conviction is dead on and I don't miss. Again, you don't always win with options, but if you use your tools to their full potential and you study charts and you study companies, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on the right side of things. But looking at this specifically, as you do see here, Unusual Wills did send out an alert for the $10 call for October 15th. As you see, it does have a 0.46 delta, giving yourself a 46% chance to be profitable, earning $46 for every dollar that Hut does go up. Me personally, I would stick more to the 65.65 delta, which is on the $9 strike. Again, you're not going to break the bank with either 111 to 113 for the 9 strike, or 65 to 66 on the 10 strike. Again, as you guys do see clearly, I think I've produced enough of an idea to give you an understanding of why I'm so bullish on HUD. The value that they hold in Bitcoin is significant. The fact that they're producing this much this fast with this low of a stock price makes me super bullish. And additionally, as the icing on the cake, the fact that their chart is the one that most closely mirrors Bitcoin is also something that makes me extra bullish. But as always, guys, if you have questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to get to them. You can always hit me up on Twitter or IG if it works. And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as that is very much appreciated. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.